It is that time, to reveal our surprise celebrity. Got my papers.
Thank
Woo!
you. Baby Jesus.
We needed these papers, right? So here are your clues again. Former Miss Alabama USA, The Bachelorette, and Dancing with the Stars. All right? So this former Miss Alabama USA starred in the 15th season of The Bachelorette. She also competed in one season 28 of Dancing with the Stars. Won it. Okay? And now she's an author. She's been added to her resume with the release of her memoir, God Bless This Mess. Please say hello to our special surprise guest, Hannah Brown. What's up, Hannah?
Yay!
Hannah, we had a real nail biter here without these papers, because without these papers, I don't know what's going to happen here, you know?
You don't understand.
You know, seriously. Good to see you. So this is the question, right? Is being a perfectionist unhealthy? So what is your take on that?
I think it is. I don't think that, I think wanting to achieve and being goal-oriented is great. But I think sometimes when you are fighting so hard to always win, to be perfect, I mean, I know it's so cliche, but nobody is perfect. We're not going to get it right every single time. And so I think sometimes when we hold ourselves to those standards, or anybody else, we're doomed to, you know, fail and to get our hopes up and to put so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves. So I do think it's unhealthy. I think there's a healthier way to live, for sure. I'm still trying to figure it out right now.
Gosh, I think we are. It's a work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, considering the fact that you were in that beauty pageant circuit, that must have been really difficult for you to not want to achieve perfection when you're looking at all of these beautiful people around you, bright, smart. I mean, they're perfection in a lot of people's eyes. So how difficult was that for you, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, and I think pageantry, there's a lot of great things that can come from it, a lot of tools to use for life. But yeah, I think there is a lot of unnecessary pressure that is hard to not feel when you are being judged externally. But I do think that, you know, if you aren't a perfectionist, that I think that there's still a healthy way to be able to do it. But I don't think it's always the best for people who are naturally like driven to perfectionism. And that was definitely me at times.
Marisol?
Well, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. And I don't know if you were plugged in, but I called your silhouette a pile of dirty clothes. You are clearly not a pile of dirty clothes. You are a lovely human being, inside and out. But this is so timely because last night Miss Universe was on. And my boyfriend was like, oh, let's see if Miss Puerto Rico is in it. And I turned it off immediately because I thought, gosh, we have to evolve from perfection being this ideal, you know, and he was trying to be cute and say, oh, but all Latinos are so beautiful, and you know, he slept on the sofa last night. But I wonder what your reaction is to that for someone, you know, someone on the inside, and how that message permeates in your book and all the people that you have conversations with.
Yeah, like I said, I'm super grateful for, I don't think I would be talking to you today if I wasn't Miss Alabama USA. Right. I think there was like definitely a progression from there. But yeah, I think we should celebrate all types of beauty, and it can't just be from an external view. And I think I have seen that the pageant world is slowly evolving. I mean, there's definitely work to be done, but I think there is such a, you know, our society is so geared towards these idealistic beauty standards that just are not,
they're not real. They're not achievable.
They're not real. Yeah, because, and that's something, I mean, I talk about like different body image, body dysmorphia that I've had in my past because of being like, you know, I am not bone skinny, but there was a point where I tried to, you know, be that way. And because that's what I saw that won. That's what I felt like I needed to be able to achieve my goal. And really just having to heal from even that time has been a big part of my life. But I mean, I look at social media now and where, yes, we are seeing different body types, I still think we have a long way to go just in society in general.
Well,
so
Hannah,
I think
I have a question about that, because I think exactly what you're saying, and so in your book you kind of talk about God Bless This Mess. It's your memoir, and in it you talk about the comments, right, that you kind of had to face from social media, and so you put yourself out there on social media, and then you just deal with this barrage of messages that can kind of impact your whole psyche on what perfection is, right? Because you start reading it, and then you could spiral if you read them, and some of them are negative, and a lot of them are. So how do you deal with the positives and the negative comments at the same time on social media when you're a public figure?
Yeah, it's really hard. Just since we're kind of talking about body image, I mean, when I first started out on The Bachelor, I was still kind of in that unhealthy phase. And like, as I've gotten, you know, the past few years, like have become more of a natural body weight for myself. And even just having people, you know, comment on that has been tough. And people comment on decisions that they have no idea what I'm doing. It's very tough. But then on the flip side, when you're just getting so much praise, you can almost feel invincible. And I think I've felt both. I've had all the haters, and I've had people adore me. And it's just, you cannot get your value from what other people think of you. And I think that's the journey that I've been on the past year and a half in writing this book is, where do I find my worth? Is it through validation? Is it through recognition? And if it is, what happens when it goes away? What happens when the positive praise becomes negative? And in that case, that it's gone back and forth for me. And I really had to figure out, like, how do I find stability? How do I find peace? And I'm never going to find it through something that other people say about me. And so really going on that journey has been something that I talk about in the book. And I think it's something that can really resonate with especially a lot of young women. And learning through some of the mistakes that I made along the way. And when I was looking at what other people were thinking, making poor judgment calls, decisions, like, what have I been able to learn and to focus on that?
Yeah, which kind of begs the question, what do you want the biggest takeaway to be for the people that do read your book?
So I feel like the reason I've had the support is that I am very relatable. I just kind of say, like, this is who I am. I've made some mistakes. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think the biggest message is, like, we're all kind of in the middle of the mess together. There is nobody that right now, at least I don't have the answers for you, but I can say that I'm with you, and maybe be just 2 steps ahead and be like, okay, this can kind of suck, but we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna find the miracle in the mess. We're going to find the silver lining and get a little bit better every step of the way. Because I really do think some of the, like, worst moments in my life have been some of the best for me to grow as a person. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. And so just giving that hope that, like, we can move forward, we can become better through those, you know, messy moments of our life is the biggest takeaway.
Wow, I was just listening. I'm just in awe of everything you're saying. And you know, and the idea of perfection, by the way, it's just, it's all subjective, and it's all, it all is in your own eyes, right? And that's why for folks who have this idea of what perfection is, you are perfection just in your own individual way. You just may not know it yet, right? And so that's why I think your book is incredible for folks. By the way, you're very young to write a memoir, so you're going to have to write another one years later.
I call it my quarter life memoir.
Oh, very good.
Right. Hey, Hannah, Hannah Brown, thank you so much for being here this morning. Really, really appreciate you. I'm glad I had the papers here to get all the facts correct. God Bless This Mess is her memoir. It is available where books are sold. Have a great holiday, Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Okay. And if there's something you want to know, everybody, email us at iwantknow@pix11.com, and we'll have one of our celebrity experts on to answer your question as well. And I think that may have been a viewer question. I'm not sure.
She's a sweetheart.
She really is.
Very, very nice. But it is. It's like perfection is. And those ideas of, like, worst moments. You're in that moment. You're like, oh my God, this is the worst moment, and it feels like the worst moment. And then tomorrow there's another day, and it gets better from there and moves forward. But it's so tough to understand that while you're in it. You know?
And Marisol, I don't know if you feel the same way, but when you have kids and they're talking about, I mean, my kids right now are at a stage where they feel like they're the best at everything.
Right.
And I kind of struggle, like, okay, do I tell them that there's going to be somebody better than you down the line, or do I continue to just, but you don't want them to feel, I don't know, I'm just worried about that whole perfection thing,
I can tell you, my youngest, who, when he was much younger, thought he could walk on water.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell him, and I was exactly where you are, and I was like, do I tell him he's mortal? And then he got a taste of his mortality, and it came through sports.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh my God,
I'm not the best.
I'm not number one, I'm number two. How did that happen? I mean, he's still, and God love him, I love that he has this, like, I'm going to go and I'm going to accomplish and be successful at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you got to get knocked down, taste a little blood in your mouth, and be like, ooh, I got to work harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't tell them. They'll
I have not.
just be ready with, like, milk and cookies or tissues or something.
Always make sure that all that humble pie makes you want to work
That's
harder
right.
and get better. I'll never forget the person who told me I would never be on air.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hello.
Exactly. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Then